All right, we're live on air. 5 years, 328 days, 1019. I don't know what that one is. 62% youth feel eco-anxiety. And then here we have percentage at the top, global renewable energy. Very readable. Let's change the colors a bit here. Right? Yeah, nice. Look at that. Oh, whoops. Let's get back on. So this is a climate clock. Yeah, and it's been brought here by Dennis Kimani. He is the YGS chairperson. For the first time, we have evidence that Deno is actually working on something out there with regards to climate. But we have more evidence. It's just that now we have a physical presentation on what he has been working on and what he has been preaching on in terms of climate action. We're going to understand exactly what this is. It's a climate clock. We're going to get an understanding of it and also other discussions that are happening here as we prepare for the climate summit that Kenya is poised to host next month, this September. Dennis Kimani, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Right.
I'm so much privileged always to be at KUTV.
Right.
I'm thankful always.
Always happy also to have you here. Yeah. I have a grab from the Daily Nation, I believe, from the August 17th of 2023.
Yes.
I'm sure you're aware of this.
Yes.
It's an image of you and kids here. Environmental conservation, making a difference through art and peer-led awareness campaign. So you pictured here interacting with children at Children's Environment Rescue in Ruiru on this August 17th, 2023. Can you tell us a little bit about what this was, this Children's Environmental Rescue activity that you were doing?
Thank you again, Richard, for the green morning. The review was put yesterday on the newspaper by the Daily Nation. Yesterday on 28th, we had an event here at Ruiru with the Children Rescue Team. This is a group of teachers who are previously they were being called Teachers Environmental Rescue, but they changed their name to Children's Environmental Rescue. The chairperson is our member in City Park CFA, so we have been working together. She's the lead in the children's environment. So in that bulletin, what we are doing, we are trying to work with waste, basically the plastic, making murals, making different, adding value to waste. Because what you can say as we are ahead of the climate, the African climate, is that we have a lot of problems in ensuring that our waste are well managed because of lack of adding value to the waste. Even Nairobi, the dysfunctional waste management system is because of lack of adding value to waste. And with that, the Daily Nation also made us very happy for featuring us yesterday in that story.
Nice.
As we teach children, because they are the generation of tomorrow.
Okay, all right. That happened, and congratulations, of course, for that kind of activity. You're passing this on to the next generation, even before our generation grasps the importance of climate action. The Africa Climate Summit is happening from the 4th to the 6th of September. We'll get into the details of that and also how prepared we are as a nation. But first, let's get this mystery out of the way. For those who are watching us, bado wanangoja kujua tunafanya nini na hii burungo hapa hivi on set. So Deno, if you can explain to us, let me I think you've given me enough directions on how to operate it, so I'll operate it as you explain to us. So I'm turning it on at the moment, and it's displaying there on the screen climate. It has changed again there. Okay, so let's start with this one. 5 years, 328 days. What is that? And the timeline?
Okay, the clock has 2 sessions.
Okay.
It has the red and the blue.
Okay.
The red is what we call the time frame or the deadline. And the blue one is the lifelines or the actions.
Okay.
the time frame on this clock is stagnant, or it is consistent, or it is what you are saying, it is not changing.
Okay.
It is the same, but it is changing within 1 second by second by second until 5 years are finished.
What are these 5 years?
5 years are the time IPCC data. Through the IPCC data, the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, they come up with the time that we are supposed to limit carbon emissions to 1.5 degrees in the global temperatures.
Okay.
So they are saying we only left with 5 years, and that time that is left there, so that we can reduce our emissions to 1.50 to meet the net zero carbon emissions.
So we have 5 years to
300
achieve that.
and something, it is recorded there.
5 years, 328 days.
Exactly.
For us to get to that 1.5.
Yes.
And this 10, 14, 11 looks like 10 hours and 14 minutes.
No, actually that because the clock came from America, the time zone is different.
Okay.
So what the time zone in which we are here, it is different than the clock, because we are using the American. Even when you are going to learn about it, you'll see that even the figures that are put there, they're in dollars form, because the inventors of the clock, Andrew Boyd, is from America, New York.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Below there's a blue screen. There's it's all a screen, but there's blue information passing there, and I'm trying to read it in a way that I can still maintain here. So deforestation in Brazil, in Brazil's Amazon, right?
Yes.
What information is that that is going by?
As when you started, you said that the clock has two places: the time, the deadline, and the lifelines. Lifeline is what you can do. Like you in the morning, you could have chosen not to take a vehicle and come cycling. That is your own lifeline. That is your own action, because the car will produce CO2, but the bicycle will make you more healthy. So you have already done something, as little it is for climate. So therefore, the lifelines are what countries are doing. Like now in Kenya, we had the login, we have the sustainable waste management bill, we have the climate change bill, we have the risk disaster bill. All of those are our lifeline here in Kenya. What we have done for the action towards climate change.
And it's actually really good information. I'm reading here what the US has committed towards coastal climate action. Seeing what Brazil has launched as grants for poor families towards protecting the climate. This is a source of motivation as well, right?
Now that when I was at the launch, I was hearing that you are so the opportunities was here at the global north, and there were things that people wanted to go to there, but I don't know if in my show I'm coming to bash and say the global north is supposed to compensate us according to this. Okay. So the previous show was supposed for us to be happy. I think this one is a little bit of bashing them.
Okay. So in the previous conversation, which we just had, just to put it into context to someone who's joining, we were having a discussion on opportunities abroad, right? Yes. And we were painting a very nice picture of why people should be out there. But you think the global north owes us something? Yes. In terms of climate, how is that?
So I will let you the upper one.
All right.
Keep twisting until we reach there. There's somewhere that we'll go and find.
Are we there yet?
Not there yet. We have trillions. Somewhere we have trillions.
Trillions.
Go again.
I'll see millions.
G7. Not there.
Oh, we just passed it. The trillion.
32 trillion.
Yes, right? That's it. $32 trillion.
As you all know about the G20s, right? G20s are the well-developed economies. Those are the countries at the global north. But they owe us a lot of money. In this clock we are seeing, it is $32 trillion. This is the amount of money that is supposed to come to Nairobi come September 4th. The global north are supposed to compensate us with 32 trillion shillings. Okay. For their loss and damage. They have really.
But they have contributed.
Yeah, they are contributors because of the economies. The economies are very big, and the global south are us, Africa, Brazil, Argentina, countries that have less developed. They are still on farming, and this climate change is affecting the production of the farms. So therefore, the global south is supposed to be compensated by the G20 at the global north.
Also, we are experiencing the effects of the activities of some countries out there, which now do us, and I'm guessing this is what the president has actually been saying, that in terms of even what we are contributing towards climate action, it shouldn't be at par. We're actually contributing more as compared to the countries which are the ones contributing to the effects of climate change. The number keeps changing, right?
Yes.
What is that?
The climate change.
Deni inaendelea kupanda.
Deni inaendelea hata sasa tukiendelea, the deni is going on.
Okay.
So it will never reach an end.
Okay.
Because even now global the change in climate change is happening. Even now we are still polluting. So that the number it keeps. That's why even if you have seen me at the socials, I was saying the clock keeps ticking.
Okay.
As much as people are talking, we have the assemblies, we have the youth assemblies, we have the summits, we have the BRICS, Russia and South Africa coming to talk about these matters. The thing is the clock
is ticking. Whether we are having summits or not.
Yes.
And it's actually a literal clock here we have, So it is ticking and we can see it. So that's a screen on the amount of money that we are owed by the G20. Is there another screen that I can go to?
We have the G7. You can search for the G7.
Okay.
Yeah,
we are there. G7.
Yes. The G7 now are the superpowers.
Okay.
The most powerful: America, England, UK,
Russia.
They owe us $12 trillion.
And counting, because it's going there. G7 loss and damage. It's a lot of money due to their contribution in terms of the damage that they're contributing to the globe, right? So that's the screen we have there. There's another one.
You can go to the indigenous land to protect. That is a very good thing to figure out.
Okay.
Before you go to the youth.
Right. This is exciting. I feel like a child. 25% in women. That's the one. All right.
Now you see, we are also calculating the land the land that has been lost, the loss and damage on the traditional land.
Okay.
Like I will talk about my place where I'm designated, City Park Forest. City Park Forest is a traditional forest. It is a cultural forest. Why? Because City Park came from the traditions of the Agikuyu. Actually, they're the ones who donated the land to the white settlers for all that has been happening. Again, City Park being a culture, we have the war veterans graves, we have the first and the second vice president of Kenya, the first Kenyan martyr, Piogama Pinto, buried there. So this is a traditional indigenous land. Therefore, with this one, we are calculating. If you have come to City Park, you have seen how loss and damage has made it into a sewer line. The Kibagare River is just I call it Nairobi Sewerage Company, because it's not now nothing can survive there. Even you cannot even want to. It is stinking. It's
not good for consumption or any other use.
So this clock also calculates the lands that in the world that are supposed to be reclaimed back, including City Park.
I see. Anything that is important that we can also take a look at?
We have the women percentage in parliament fighting for climate change. It was somewhere there. You passed it.
Mental health hotline. That's a bit different. 62% youth feel
eco-anxiety.
Eco-anxiety. What is eco-anxiety?
Eco-anxiety is the anticipation that our ecology will be fine.
Okay.
Because we are the ones who are using it. We are the ones who are celebrating the environment more than any other person. So the anxiety that how shall it be after 5 years? If the clock is giving us a deadline of 5 years, what shall happen after the 5? These are things that we'll do about adaptation and resilience. What after the 5 years elapse, what else shall we do? Yes, that is the anxiety we are being put in.
Do you know, this is information. I hope you don't sleep with this clock in the house. It will give me a lot of eco-anxiety. Taking a look at the numbers, the contributions, the damages, and the losses. I have one question though. Why does it have to be a clock like this? Why not a clock on the wall?
There are different shapes.
Okay.
According to different. Actually, you can import such of this for yourself, or even for Kenyatta University, or even for the KUTV show. You can put it somewhere here. You just go to the website, it will be shipped to you if you request for one,
Mhm.
and then you become a climate ambassador.
Okay.
Yes.
As constant reminder, just to put it somewhere there, as a constant reminder of what we are staring at
Yes.
as humanity in general. We have an Africa Climate Summit that is happening from the. Let me just maybe reduce this to. Then we'll get back to it later. The Africa Climate Summit is happening here in Nairobi at KICC from the 4th to the 6th.
Yes.
You've said rightfully there, whether we have summits, we have, Paris Agreement here, we have others talking there, G20 summits, BRICS conventions, the clock is still ticking.
Yes.
Are you enthusiastic about having the Africa Climate Summit hosted right here at your own backyard?
Yes, I am happy as a Kenyan because what I can say, because Kenyans will have some money. Dignitaries coming from all over the world means that Nairobi will be busy and business will be booming, even the smallest business. But for the summit itself, what is going to be talked here, I still feel like it is a lot of ad hoc jackism, because we have had COP26, we have had COP27, we have had the Glasgow Declaration, we have a lot of places that we have gone talking.
Now we have an upcoming Nairobi Declaration.
You see, a Nairobi Declaration. What I think is that it's good the government took the initiative to host it, but it is a meeting that it is a joyrider meeting for other countries. People in America will be joyriding to come to Kenya for a trip, because as long as the loss and damage won't be done, there's no talk that is happening.
Okay.
As long as the funding and the compensation won't be done, it will be delayed more. We'll wait for us to go to Dubai in the COP28 so that they can talk again about these matters. We are not doing anything.
It's like we're looking forward to summits every time. It's become an exciting event to attend.
Yes.
Okay.
What I feel like, I think even the better thing is for them to come to our event at City Park so that we can clean up the river, we can collect the waste, we can plant trees, we can teach children, we can try involve the street families at City Park so that we can conserve City Park, and at least we see you are doing something.
Right.
Being in the boardrooms does not do anything to climate change at this time, because we talked at Glasgow, we talked at Egypt. What else is there to be talked about? Give us our money,
right?
Or else stop the loss and damage. Actually, this clock, we don't say that. I will pose that question to you. We have seen $32 million in trillion, right? $32 trillion, right?
The $2 trillion.
Yes.
Right.
Yesterday we are trying to see that we are fighting. Even KPLC is not going to install CIUs to affordable housing houses because of the dollar inflation. But the question is, do you think we need these dollars?
What we need is action, or what we
are
need
right
is money?
On that.
Okay.
Do we need the money? Or
yes, of course, because I think funding climate action might be quite expensive. Is actually quite expensive.
Let me pose another question. For an instance, you live in Turkana. You have lost a cow.
Okay.
The cow is recorded, and the data is at IPCC that Kenya lost 10,000 cattle. 2 are yours. When this stock is at ASC at KICC, will you be paid?
Probably not.
So what are you supposed to tell the leaders, the policy makers who are coming to Nairobi?
Okay, that's quite a dilemma there.
Yes.
What do we do then with that money?
As environmentalists, you are saying we don't want your compensation. Stop the loss and damage. Because if my family member dies on a floods or drought,
no one is going to compensate me for that adequately.
Loss of life will never be compensated, even with how much money you give us. Africa and the global south are suffering because of global north, but they think what we need is money. We don't need money. What we need is them to stop the loss and damage.
Okay.
Yes, we don't need their money.
Right. And to begin with how people can stop the loss and damage, I see here you've invited us for a very exciting event that you have prepared. And this is happening on September 1st, I believe. Please let us know what the Youth Green Society and the City Park Community Forest Association, Save the Earth, and Tamara KYA Foundation and other youth groups. What are you organizing on the 1st of September?
Like we did in the COP26, we did a local action march. As people were in Glasgow, as we are here in Kenya doing our action march, this time we are going to curtain raise the African Climate Summit. We are not happy about just going to the summit because we were invited and accredited, but what we think is that actions are things that you do on a daily basis. So for us, Youth Green Society, together with the Community Forest Association of City Park, we are going to have a curtain raiser event at City Park. This will just be collecting views of the people who cannot afford to reach KICC because it's a high-end meeting. So therefore, even the local people, the street families who live in City Park, the families, the women at the market, people who use the City Park mini field to play, children, and even the any person who won't be able to go to KCC, we are welcoming them to this event so that they can send the sentiments to us, and those people who are going to the forum at KCC on 4th, they can go and represent them. So I think that it is just a message carrying and bringing together so that we can involve everyone, including the local people.
Okay, and that's happening on 1st of September. Everyone is invited to join in, of course, at City Park for that kind of activity, actionable at a very individual level, rather than, you know, the speeches and the long discussions happening at the summit. Are you attending the summit, though?
Yes, I'm accredited. I will be there.
Okay. What do you expect from the summit? Other than, of course, you know, as you said, there are discussions and boardroom meetings and talks and all that. Is there any positive thing that you think will come out of this summit?
Yes, we have attended on 24th and 25th. We were at Sarit. We sent even our sentiments through the Youth Climate Festival that was organized at Sarit Center. We have tried to put our, like I'm saying, for the event, it is just current of views so that we can present them to the government at KCC. We have second and third, we are also going for the youth assembly, which is led by Elizabeth Wathuti, again to send our sentiments. And the biggest thing that we are sending to the table is that we have a climate fund, a funding that will come in form of a grant, so that the most innovative youths, they can go out with these funds and scale up their ideas, you see. So a lot of youth have ideas, but they don't have the funding and the grants. So we're asking the government and the whole of the COP20, the cooperative parties, to come up with a fund that is flexible, even for the most indigenous or the local person, youth at home or in our community, can be able to apply and send their ideas for scaling up.
Right.
Yes.
They know when, before we wrap up, when someone takes a look at you being very passionate with matters of climate action, why should they care?
I will just say what Wangari Maathai said. Actually, Wangari Maathai was not a politician. She was a passionate environmentalist, but environmental matters must be pushed by policymakers. And that's why even as we are calling on the African Climate Summit is all about calling the policymaker to act in time. It's because like the law that we had, the ban on the login, it is our policymakers that put it there. As the only thing that we can do is just to follow up or tell them here is not okay, change it to this one. So therefore, myself, I think that the only resource that me and you share is the environment. Otherwise, we can never share anything else. It is the air we breathe in. Therefore, my passion in environment comes in because we think that the environment is the only resource we care about. You cannot give me money, but you can give me an opportunity. And opportunity is environment. So therefore, I request every person in the community with this little saying, a man is a man, and therefore an action is an
action.
As far as it is little or large. Yes.
Okay. We spoke there about Wangari Maathai, and on the screen it is now displaying 26.5% women in parliament. What is this statistic and why is it important?
This data comes from the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change. This data says that in Kenya we are saying the third gender rule.
Third gender rule.
Yes.
Right. Two-third gender rule.
This means that the number of women in parliament advocating for global climate change and mitigation, it is at 26%, but it should be increasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's information. There's more on this clock that you can order for yourself. But there's a question they know now. Since we're speaking about climate action, what materials have gone into making this? Is it rechargeable? Is it renewable? Does it also consider, climate action? Tell us more about its composition.
The frame itself, the body, is made from bamboo.
Okay.
Yes, so that is eco-friendly. I think what is inside, we have a battery. It is chargeable.
Okay.
So it's also renewable. Actually, you have forgotten to talk about the renewable energies. So having a battery means that it stores some energy.
Okay.
You don't have to throw the battery after you use, so it's renewable.
Okay. I've actually gotten that global renewable energy percentage there on the screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Transition. Actually, Kenya is ranked the best in transition to renewable.
It is also going up. Isn't that a good sign?
Yeah, it's going up. It's okay. That is a good sign.
Okay. This is the only one we want to go up. Yeah. All right.
Again, the last question you have asked is
whether it's renewable if it takes care of matters of climate action.
It takes care of matters of climate action, and I will help you. I will need you to customize your data.
Okay,
now
tell
that
me.
you're in KUTV, you can put your message that you want to send for climate action.
Okay.
Yes.
How do I do that?
You just press somewhere there.
Okay. I just press.
Yes.
What do I press?
One of the
knobs. I press them in.
Yes.
Okay.
Scroll it down.
I scroll it down.
Using the same.
I use the same. Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Down. Down kabisa.
Sorry. I was a slow student, so give me some time there.
I don't think so. With your games that you beat me every day.
Oh man,
go down. It's supposed to go somewhere customized.
Okay. We'll continue trying it as you tell me what it will do. Oh, okay.
There.
Mkulima anajua jembe yake.
Customized message.
All right, customized
so
message. Okay. So this is where we can create a message that will display here.
Yes, it will display there. Now you can write for KUTV.
Okay.
Yes.
I wish we could do it easily, but because we don't have time, I think we'll do it after the break, or you can be doing it and then we will show it later on, right? So for this clock, you said people should check out what website and get it.
The climate clock. Actually, this is just a portable one to show people around, but you can download yours from the Play Store.
Or you can have a soft climate clock, a soft copy of the climate clock.
It's available, the climate clock website.
All right. So check that out and keep tabs on the happenings of the Republic. How do we go back to the original screen so that we can close up with a very nice...
there again with the back.
Okay. I'll let you take us back there. But this is information for you now. Once more, you can meet Deno and the Youth Green Society on September 1st, where they'll be doing this event at City Park. You can join them in preparation for that climate week that is happening from the 4th to the 6th, that President William Ruto will be hosting. His message, and I'd like Deno to finish this interview by reacting to this. His Excellency President William Ruto is saying here, climate action is not a global North issue or a global South issue. It is our collective challenge and it affects all of us. We need to come together to find common global solutions. Just on that very last statement, we need to come together to find common global solutions. You said the G20 and the G7. Of course, these are facts. It's not something that you've just said. These are facts that they are the greatest contributors to global warming, to all the effects, of course, that are coming through with climate change. And the president there is saying that we need to come together and find common global solutions. Should we do that, or should everyone deal with their own issues separately, so that we don't have this mix-up where some are remitting more, some aren't, some are suffering in this journey towards climate action?
I think His Excellency President William Ruto there sat on the fence kiasi, because as a policy maker in the global south, we have seen a lot of people dying. We have seen a lot of loss on damage on our land, floods in, drought the other time. Actually, this time we are in drought, and then immediately the rains come, you'll see other people died because of floods. So I think there's no need of sitting on the fence. We call a spade, and call out the G7 and the global north, please pay us, and then stop the loss and damage.
Pay us and leave us.
Yes.
Okay, that's the message there, and I would like you to give, of course, your last remark here as we wrap up. Your last remark, of course, that is on the event that you have on FAST, an invitation for them to join you, and also a message towards that climate summit that's happening on 4th.
Thank you again. Thank you, KUTV, for the opportunity. This morning, I just want to call out all the policy makers. This time, it's not about me. It's not about my friend. It's not about my community. It's about you, policymaker. It's you who have put there to put the laws straight, and it is time for you to enforce the laws. That is the only message I have for the policymakers.
All right, policymakers, prepare yourselves as that happens on the 4th to the 6th, but also on the first meet they know. This is very useful information. The climate clock, I've held it in my hands, so I feel that urge to always take care of the environment, take care of the one planet that we have, so that we have a sustainable future. The clock is ticking, guys. Whether we have a conversation on Biashara Tuesday about climate change, whether we have climate summits, whether we have COP29, 2030, it doesn't matter really. Just take action that is going to be favorable to the planet Earth. That is what we have this morning with Deno. Thank you very much for creating time for us here and bringing this amazing clock and giving us very useful information, of course. And it seems real now that we have this here.
Yes.
Mambo inakaa serious.
Mnafaa mchukue hata iko yake hiyo.
Iweke huko, si ndio? All right, we will be doing that. In the meantime, I'm going for a short break. I'll be back with one Eric Masharia. He will be here to give us a discussion on BRICS. As I said, should we move to BRICS or should we maintain the other relations that we have? Are we changing masters? Is it a win-win? Is Kenya losing by not joining BRICS, or are we eventually going to join BRICS? Also, tying that up with what is happening in the papers, the kidnapping of Sugar Baron, a billionaire, over the weekend, and his release. Also, the blackout that happened from last week on Friday. What is happening in the Republic? Grab yourself a paper. On this morning's dailies is what we'll be going through the headlines and the most important stories, so don't go too far. I will be right back.